In the old western town of Tombstone, Arizona, life was often but a fraction of a second. Whether it be desperate gunfights or ambushes or drunken brawls, you simply could not be unarmed in a town of such brutality. From cowboys to lawmen to bandits to civilians, no one was safe from that smell of the black powder smoke. One such man who lived in Tombstone was the cowboy Billy Claiborne. He was involved in several killing incidents, and he very much desired to make a name for himself. He was an outlaw, and he often demanded that he be called Billy the Kid, just like the infamous outlaw he read about on the newspaper, even though he was nowhere near on the same level as the real Billy the Kid. Nonetheless, it was a nickname he felt very entitled to. Another man who lived in Tombstone was Frank Leslie, otherwise known as Buckskin Leslie. He was a bartender and a gunfighter, but despite being a gunfighter, he was known by townsfolk as rather personable, as the clothing he wore and the dialogue he spoke were often much more formal than an average man of Tombstone. But in spite of that, he was in fact a violent gunman. On the particular day of November 14th, 1882, Buckskin Leslie was tending to his bar as a normal day went about for him, when suddenly the drunken cowboy, Billy Claiborne, began quarreling, arguing with him, using insults and demanding that he be called Billy the Kid, the nickname he believed he was entitled to. Leslie denied to call him the nickname, and he eventually kicked Claiborne out of the saloon due to causing a public disturbance. Billy left the saloon, but he eventually returned with a rifle. As Claiborne waited outside the saloon, he produced the rifle and he planned to use it. But Leslie was eventually told by two civilians that a cowboy was waiting outside to shoot him. Like the fearless man that Leslie truly was, he barged through the swinging doors to the outside, and Leslie yelled to Claiborne, "Don't shoot, I don't want to kill you." But the gunfight began, and Claiborne fired a single shot. It missed Leslie's head by inches. But then afterwards, Leslie fast drew his pistol and shot Claiborne once in the heart. Leslie nearly fired a second shot, but he stopped after Claiborne said, "Don't shoot again, I am killed." Billy was then taken to a doctor and died of the wound 6 hours later. Billy was only 22 years of age. In the aftermath in a court of law, Leslie was found to have acted lawfully in the homicide. Therefore, the killing was ruled an act of self-defense.